This video probably is going to be one of the best video I have made so far because I'm going to talk something about something that we know so little about. And to be honest, it took me a while to try to understand it. I to try to answer the question I've basically asked myself. So I have a question for you. Is there something like you want to achieve and you're still working toward and it's been a long time and you feel like a little bit frustrated because it's taking too much time and you're still not there? And I'm here to tell you it's really not your fault. And we have to try to not be so hard on ourselves because it's really not our fault. In this video, I'm gonna show you exactly why it's not your fault and why it makes no sense basically to put so much pressure on ourselves to achieve it. Obviously, we have to still do what's to be done in order to achieve so. We still have to work hard towards it. But in a sense, beside that, there is really nothing you should not, there is really no pressure at all you should put yours beside that. So I'm gonna start to explain the formula of achievement. And probably I'm gonna try also to add a picture or a graph like in the video. That way you can follow along. So basically, I've been thinking about how is it possible for me it takes so much time to achieve something while someone else achieve it way less time. So why is that? And I have a revelation. This has to be like a formula to it. This has to be like it cannot be that random. And I think about it for a while, and I think I've slightly making sense of it. And I don't think I'm not saying if it's other stuff out there is not it's wrong. It's just like I think my input I'm gonna put on that is basically a little bit basically I'm advancing the thought process, the knowledge basically we already knew out we already know that is out there. So the formula of success of achievement that I call it is first there is one line that's gonna be for the interest. Basically you are interested in the thing you pursuing, you want to achieve, and you feel like motivated to continue. And I think this is really an important part. But that doesn't mean just with the interest you're gonna get there. But that doesn't mean without the interest you won't get there either. So you see what I'm saying? And the second big piece is going to be skill. And the skill, how do we get the skill itself? So it's gonna be, there is something basically I call the coefficient of achievement. The coefficient of achievement. So this thing basically is static. You cannot change that. You cannot, this is something basically that intrinsic to us. You basically, we were wired that way. We can, the way our mind process the thing is specific to us. But however, with time, as you go along, that can slightly increase the coefficient of achievement. And you have the coefficient of achievement, time you put towards it, and also knowledge you gain towards it, and practice you do, and with intention, and also repetition, you get the loop of being skilled at the thing. So this being skilled at the thing is basically the biggest thing, the biggest part of the equation, because without the skill, you literally cannot get the thing done. You cannot achieve the thing. That's impossible, basically. And the more skilled we are, obviously, the fastest we're gonna be able to achieve the thing. So, however, if our coefficient is above 1, well, it's gonna be way easier for us to get the thing done compared to someone else with the coefficient below 1, even below 0.5. It's gonna be very hard for the person for the same amount of efforts. It's gonna be very hard for the person to achieve it. And I think so far, I think you're following me. And also you have the other section, which is like your environment. So for example, if I want to achieve something like a billionaire status in Haiti, that definitely was not gonna happen. It's gonna be tough. So your environment, obviously the people you are surrounded with, do you have encouragement? Do you have people that like, trust you and believe in you? All those things gonna go in their environment. And I basically can also take a little bit of an example to illustrate that. Let's say, for example, we're taking LeBron James versus his son that's playing basketball, both playing basketball right now. So obviously, we see LeBron James is probably one of the best players ever play. We're looking at the stats and everything. It's probably the best. Obviously, he had the interest and obviously the skill. He was able to get the skill very quickly. And his coefficient of achievement to basketball was pretty high too, because he was able to practice. With his practice, he was able to gain more knowledge and he was able to gain more skills. And obviously, it's in a loop, like I showed you earlier. And so the more time he put into it, the more result he get, the more skill he get. And obviously, environment, he was definitely, I think for him, probably in whatever the environment he was, he would probably get success. But obviously, if he was in Haiti, being good in basketball, that could be very hard. But for him to be in the United States, playing at school and everything, is very quick. You see the example. You see but however, if we're taking his son right now, obviously his son, I think he has the interest for sure. And the coefficient, I'm talking of achievement, is not the same for his son to his dad. Why? Because it's taking him a lot of time to be very skilled at the thing. Obviously, his environment, it's in the good direction for him. And so you see the difference I'm talking about. So even though his sons, he might even put even more effort than his dad back in his time, but he's still not gonna get the same result as his dad because his coefficient of achievement is not as high as that. And that basically, so I hope, so this is why it makes no sense for you if you really have an interest to something. It doesn't matter your coefficient of achievement. You're still going towards it. It's gonna take time, but eventually you might get there. You might not even get there eventually, but at least you're at peace. You know exactly how it works. So there is just a process to it. You just have to put the time and get the knowledge and practice with iteration and everything. And then eventually, and make sure also you have the environment support you for that too. Because without the environment, it might be very tough, very difficult, and mentally also. And so basically, like I said in this video, you are about to achieve, yes, you're on your road to achieve something, and you're about to achieve the thing. Just don't put as much pressure you're putting on yourself. I know it's hard to not put pressure on ourselves. We put yourself in a very high standard, and I'm talking to you like that, and it's also for me because I'm putting myself to have a very high standard also for myself. But in the same sense, by understanding that, what I just explained in this video, so you can put less pressure on yourself and be kind to yourself, and it's just to continue on doing it. So that's it for this video. So like I said, it's a little bit different than I usually do, but see you on the next time, and make sure you subscribe and follow. See you on the next one.